Justin, thank you for joining the podcast. You know the routine. We're getting started a little bit early. Mr. Hills, thank you for joining the podcast, sir. We are getting started a little bit early. And I'm actually going to take the time here to go ahead and tag a few people. You guys are more than welcome to do the same. Sandy Stars is here. Glad you could make the podcast tonight, man. Appreciate you sharing the entire podcast, Ryan. I do appreciate that. I believe it's a good opportunity to get the product out to a lot of people other than just what's going on in the league. So I do appreciate you sharing the podcast in its entirety. Salvio, thank you for joining the podcast. I guess. Thank you. I guess. I don't know. I'm going to get started about 8:05, so we have about 2 minutes. And I don't really have much lined up tonight. I don't really even have any guests lined up. So we'll just go through the power rankings and talk about a few things from last night's show. And a few things that happened throughout the week. And we'll go from there. We'll open the lines up at some point throughout the show. If you guys would like to call in, we can do that. If not, we'll just wrap it up. Like I said, I don't have a long show lined up for tonight. Just a few things to discuss leading into this tournament and whatnot. That's starting tomorrow, all that type stuff. We will officially get started in about 2 minutes. Athena, thank you for joining the podcast. It's glad to see you here. I haven't seen or heard from you in a while. Am I breaking up, guys? Or can you hear me just fine? If you can hear me good, give me some thumbs up. Let me know how the audio is over there, guys. All right, sounds good. Good. That's what I want to hear. We have about 1 minute. We will officially be getting started. I'm actually, even though I don't have a long show lined up tonight, I'm actually really excited about this show. Have quite a few good things. Possibly that might be why, Ryan. But again, like I said, guys, while you're here, if you want to go ahead and tag a few people, that'll be appreciated. If you want to share the podcast, that'll be appreciated as well. It's another opportunity to get the product out to people who are not familiar with what we're doing. We know that word of mouth is the best advertisement. I am feeling much better. That being said, it is 8:05 and it is time to officially start the Blacklist Podcast. For those of you who don't know who I am the number one pick to the Takedown brand. I am the face of the Steel Stable. I am the recipient of the 2017 MVP award. The list goes on and on. The awards go on and on, but you can simply call me Mr. Black. And to answer your question, Ryan, I am feeling much better. I do apologize for missing last week, the podcast last week. But at the same time, I would like to say thank you to Justin for filling in with his podcast, with the debut of his podcast, Creepy's Asylum, something like that. I believe that's the correct name. And in case you guys are wondering what I meant by calling myself the Star Maker, that is exactly what I meant, because just by me missing my podcast and filling in Justin, he is now a star. He has his own podcast. He may not say thank you or whatnot, but you're welcome, Justin. And I'm sure you're going to do great with your podcast. I agree that he did do a great job, Ryan. Much better than I thought he would do, and I believe he's going to have a bright future with doing the podcast as well. Again, guys, we are week 2 of our season 3 here, and this was, if you guys watched the show last night, it was a phenomenal show. I mean, I almost don't even know where to get started talking about this show. But what I will do, we'll get started here with the power rankings. These are the takedown power rankings as of January 10th. Coming in at number 10, there is actually a tie for the 10th spot. Austin Eric and BQ are tied for the 10th spot in the power rankings. Number 9 coming in the power rankings. Number 9 is Joshua. Number 8 is Athena. Number 7 is Mark and Garrett of the Bullet Club. Number 6, Beard Money. Number 5, The Order. Number 4, Brandon Dixon. Number 3, Sandy Stars. Number 2, myself, Mr. Black. Number 1, Matt H. Star. Let me go over these again real quick because I see we have more people still joining. Number 10 is a tie between Austin Eric and BQ. This is the power rankings for our takedown. Number 10, Austin Eric is tied with BQ in number 10 for the power rankings. Number 9, Joshua. Number 8, Athena. Number 7, Mark Garrett. Number 6, Beard Money coming in at number 5, The Order. Coming in at number 4, Brandon Dixon. Number 3, Sandy Stars. Number 2, Mr. Black. Number 1, Matt A. Star. Now, to address what you're saying here, Ryan, The Order are number 5. And that is because they beat the tag team champions on last week. On last night. You are number 6, ranked above the Bullet Club, who beat the champions last week. So I would imagine it would only make sense that the Beard Money have a match against either the Order or the tag team champs next week. To me, that would be the only thing that makes sense. And I will also say this, that this is the most competition that I've seen in a long time from the tag team division on Takedown. It's hot and it's heavy, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen and what's going to come into fruition with the tag team division. And those are the power rankings for Takedown. I will go over them again before we actually end the show. Let's go over what is Austin Eric saying. Number 10 is a good number that I can build upon, but a tie? Who is this guy I'm tied with? Do people even know him? You know, I can't speak for people. I will say for myself that I personally don't know him. Don't know who he is. Don't know anything about him. But I will say this. He beat the international champion last night. He beat Brandon Dixon last night. There was no interference. There was no underhanded tactics. But he beat Brandon Dixon, who is the international champion. He beat him one-on-one. And that is a feat in itself. And I know this because I've beaten Brandon Dixon as well. Austin Eric, you are in the number 10 spot because you beat Hunter Dill, which I will also say that is no small feat. I know Hunter gets a lot of, he's on the receiving end of a lot of jokes and that type stuff. Hunter is a big guy, man. And he's one of those guys that he might be a little bit slower, but if he can get his hands on you, it's pretty much a done deal. So that being said, it's no small feat to beat Hunter Dill one-on-one either. And again, I know this because I have beaten him. So congratulations to Congratulations to Austin Eric and BQ for breaking into the top 10 power rankings. Now, let's go over a few things that happened last night. In case you guys didn't watch the show, first and foremost, I would like to say congratulations. Yes, that's true. Austin Eric, you did make him tap, which is, again, another feat in itself. Sandy Stars wrote a note here, says she'll be in and out tonight. Her sinuses are acting up, and she's doing some work-related stuff as well. So in case you guys missed the show last night, I would like to start by saying Sandy Stars retained her championship. So congratulations to Sandy Stars. She has proven to be a very, I don't know the word to describe it, but she's doing a great job as a women's champion. She's carrying the title very elegantly, if I say so myself. Haven't we all beaten Hunter? Unfortunately, not everyone has beaten Hunter. But again, like I said, it's a tall, no pun intended, but it's a tall task in itself to put the big man down. Now, you know, I a lot of times when I come on here and I talk, and I know you guys probably get tired of me talking about myself and the accomplishments and the awards, blah, 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 blah. But here, I'm going to tell you guys something that was done. Now, if you guys watch the show, and I have a habit of saying this, and because it's true, if you guys are watching the shows and your matches are the only ones that you're watching, you're doing yourselves a great injustice. If you watched the show in its entirety last night, you probably already know what I'm talking about. But there was a record set that has not been, not even myself has accomplished this. Doesn't matter which brand you're on. There was a rookie who set a record last night. And the rookie is Darius the Savage. If you guys watched his match, you probably know what I'm talking about. If you blinked, you probably missed it. This is the shortest match that I believe board of directors are in the podcast. They can correct me if I'm wrong, but this match that took place between Savage and the match that took place between Darius the Savage and Billy Bones was the shortest match in the history of 3Dub. Again, the board of directors is here. They can correct me if I'm wrong, but Darius the Savage beat Billy Bones in 38 seconds. Again, if you guys blinked, you probably missed this. And I will say it again. Darius the Savage beat Billy Bones in 38 seconds. That is a hell of a feat for not just any superstar, but it is a hell of a feat for a rookie superstar. Not just a rookie superstar. This is his first singles match. There wasn't any outside interference from Mercer or anything like that. And board of directors, indeed it is confirmed, it was the shortest singles one fall match in our history. And again, we all know that Billy Bones is not one to be slept on as well. But again, this is ringing throughout 3Dub right now that Darius the Savage, he's nothing but a bag of bones now. There might be some truth to that. Billy Bones got his ass beat longer with a chair than he did in the match. I agree with that as well. So that's where I was going next. I'm glad you brought that up, Austin Eric. So not only did Savage beat Billy Bones in 38 seconds, but after the match, he brought out a chair. And, he really gave Billy Bones the work. And not only did he give Billy Bones the work, but he passed the chair to Mercer. And Mercer got in a couple shots as well. Which leads me to another interesting topic that I'm going to bring up in just a few moments here. But let's go to the next subject here. The Order, who are now number 5 in the power rankings, they beat the tag team champions, the Keepers, on last night, which again was a hell of a match. And this is the second row in a week that the tag team champions have lost. This is the second row in the week that the tag team champions have come up short. Last week they lost to Bullet Club. Mark and Garrett of the Bullet Club. They lost to them last week. This week they lose to the Order. I hate to see the Chambers on a downward spiral. I don't know much about them, but any particular champion, it doesn't matter what brand or whatever the case may be, but I just hate to see a champion on a downward spiral. And I believe that the Keepers here, they need to go back to the drawing board and figure out what's going on here. As we all know, they won the tag team championships by beating Beard Money, which is a feat all in itself. But for them to come out and lose twice to for a newly formed tag team, and then to lose to the Ninja Turtles, 2 of the Ninja Turtles anyway in the Order, they need to go back to the drawing board and figure out what's going on here. Excuse me. Again, like I said, I'm not 100%, so bear with me here, guys. Beer Money says it's a fluke. It's a fluke than it had in the first place. We were dead by that team in the season. I don't really know what that means. I can't really make sense of that one. But I agree with you what you're saying, though, Ryan. It was a fluke that the Keepers were even able to beat Beard Money. I'm not sure if they were just having a good night, if you guys were having a bad night, but I do agree with you that it was a fluke. TJ Youngblood beats Lion Brian the Lion. I mean, he brought out a chair after his match and put in some work too. I mean, that's great. I don't feel the need to brag on that one a lot because, I mean, you beat Brian the Lion. Whoop de freaking do. Kid franchises beat Brian the Lion. You know, no big deal. Beard Money beats the Bullet Club. This was a highly anticipated match. There was a lot of back and forth, a lot of trash talk throughout the week. I did pick Beard Money to go over, and they did. Honestly, I'm not surprised. Bullet Club, I believe that they'll be one of the best tag teams in the future. But right now, when it comes down to tag team matches on Takedown, nobody holds a candle, in my opinion. Nobody holds a candle to Beard Money. That's just a fact. Again, as we mentioned this earlier, Takedown really showing a bloodless kind of style so far this season. It does look like they're picking up they're picking up I'm not gonna say picking up the action, but it looks like they're taking it to another level. I'll say that. BQ beats Brandon Dixon. I really don't know who BQ is, but I will say this: after beating the international champion on last night, I don't think it'll be long before we all know who this guy is. Beating any champion on Takedown, beating any champion on Bloodlust is a big deal because there aren't just nobodies carrying these belts. We don't just have nobodies as champions on either roster, on either brand. So to beat Brandon Dixon, and again, I know this firsthand because I fought this guy before, and when I tell you that he doesn't take it easy, when I tell you he always brings it, Brandon Dixon always brings it. So for him to get the win over Brandon Dixon is a big deal. Is no small feat within itself. What else we have here? Austin Eric beats Hunter Dill, and I would like to say congratulations to Austin Eric because not only did it put you in the top 10 power rankings, but your match with Hunter Dill was the match of the night. So congratulations to Austin Eric and Hunter Dill for the match of the night. But more importantly, congratulations to Austin Eric for the big win over Hunter Dill. I know this was a rematch from last week. And no, there was some animosity with Austin Eric leaving the church. But, you know, as a fan of wrestling, I'm not a fan of the church or anything like that. But as a fan of wrestling, it was good to see these guys shake hands after the match. Now, let's talk about the tournaments that are starting to happen tomorrow for the European title, for the brand new United States titles. We have the tournament starting tomorrow. I'm pretty sure you guys probably seen. You probably saw the post from the board of directors earlier today talking about the tournament for the European Championship, talking about the tournament for the United States Championship. Now, what I'm going to do here on this first week, I'm going to give you my picks of who I think is going to come out on top here. Now, we have TJ Youngblood. This is for the European Championship, for which will be held on Takedown. We have TJ Youngblood versus Hunter Dill. This will be in the first round. This particular match, I have to go with Hunter Dill. Youngblood's got a little momentum with his win over Brian the Lion last night, but Hunter he's a lot of times he's just too big. He's just too much, and I believe this is going to be the situation in this match against Youngblood. The only chance I believe that Youngblood has is that he has strength in numbers, and we know that the Bullet Club, they wrestle with the Wolfpack mentality. So if Youngblood looks to come out on top in this match, he needs to go to the back and he needs to talk with Corey Heck. They need to figure out a strategy on how they're going to distract the big man and take him down. That is, in my opinion, the only chance that Youngblood has against Hunter Dill. This second match here, we have BQ versus Mercer. I have Ryan Hills here saying, I think Hunter is going to take the Euro belt. I have Austin Eric saying the tournament to crown me European champion. I believe Austin Aries has a good chance to win this tournament. I, for one, don't think Hunter Dill is going to win this tournament. I don't think Hunter will eventually or come out on top with this tournament. And I'll tell you why. And this, you listen to what I have to say about this next match, and this will pretty much explain to you why. Next match is BQ versus Mercer. This is another not a qualifying match, but another first round match in this tournament. And I believe, this is just my personal opinion, although BQ has a lot of momentum with beating the international champion last night, I believe that Mercer is going to win this match with BQ. Again, if you go back and watch the match last night, with the guy that's standing in Mercer's corner defeating Billy Bones in 38 seconds, I believe that Mercer has himself a ton of not just momentum, but I believe this guy has the advantage going into this match and going into this tournament. Depending on who wins all of these matches in the first round or second round for Mercer, we can determine that when we get there. But I believe in this first match here, I believe Mercer's going to take this by a landslide. In the third match, we have Austin Eric versus Zachary. I don't think this one stands a chance. My money is on Austin Eric. The next match is Lion versus Marco. I just don't recall the last time I even seen the Lion win a match, so I'm going to put my money on Marco. I don't even care for Marco, but I got to go with Marco on this one because the Lion just doesn't seem to be able to get the job done. On Bloodlust, or representing Bloodlust anyhow, which will be carrying the United States Championship. In the first match, let's see this. Who is R Black for European Championship? I don't even know who that is. Ryan Hills, answer can wait, but is a tag tournament in the works? I believe that the board of directors is here, and it would be awesome to get an answer from them right now. Because we know that the Blacklist is a show where things happen. So, board of directors, we would like to get an answer from you if there's a tag team tournament in the works. Excuse me. Hope you guys know that I love you so much that I'm sitting outside here in the air, even though I'm not 100%, because I care for you guys and I want you to get this news out to you guys. Anyhow, Mr. Black for the European Championship. Well, it's not a question that if I was in this tournament, we all know that I would win this tournament hands down, which is the exact same reason that I was not in the King of the Ring tournament, because the board of directors knew that I would have won this tournament. And what would they like? I mean, there would be nothing to put a king in the board of directors' plans more than to have to call me King of the Ring. Then also would have to be able to call me Rookie of the Year. So I understand now why I was not why I wasn't even voted to be a Rookie of the Year, or why I was not even voted to be in this King of the Ring tournament, why I'm not in the European or United States tournaments. I understand, because we all know that Mr. Black never comes up short. Anyhow, see Matt A-Star, I'm really trying to make this show about everybody else. I don't want it to be about me, because I ramble on enough about how great I am. As a matter of fact, you started rambling last night about how you've come to realize that I'm a threat for the title, blah, 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 blah. And I guess I'm expected to come out here and tell everyone that I told you so. But the thing about it, me coming out here saying that I knew all along, I mean, hey, everybody on the roster, everybody that watches Takedown knows that there's no other threat to your championship other than myself. So there's no need for me to gloat in that. But at the same time, I will never be happy until I get my hands on that belt. And as much as you seem to think it won't happen, Matt A-Star, I wouldn't quit your day job, because it's coming, and it's coming before you know it. Now, before I was so rudely interrupted, Matt A-Star, the board of directors dropped a comment here that says, there is no tag team tournament. I believe this is addressed to you, Ryan Hills. There is no tag team tournament in the works, but the plans for both tag team divisions in 3-Dub are top notch, I assure you. Okay, now back to the United States tournament, for the tournament for the United States Championship. First match is Vic. I guess that's Copenhagen Vic versus Malachi Prime. I would have to put my money on. I don't know much about either of these guys, so I'll take Malachi Prime just for the hell of it. Second match for that tournament would be Carter versus Americano. Carter is a past champion, so I got to put my money on him. Third match is Johnny Blaze versus, I don't even know who Johnny Blaze is. Big Bad, I'm assuming that's Jamar Johnson. Haven't seen much from Jamar Johnson, but he seems to be chomping at the bit, so I'll put my money on Jamar Johnson. Fourth match is Chino versus Outcast. I hate Chino's guts, so I'm going to go with Outcast on this one. If Chino was somehow to win this tournament, I would resign from 3Dub. Yeah, now, would I say that Juice James is not a threat as well? Well, again, that's your opinion. I will say that Juice James is one of the constant top dogs in this league. He may be a threat to your championship, but I don't feel that he's a threat to me because, as we all have seen, once the heat is on, once the pressure is on, Juice James is more likely than not to just straight up disappear. And I believe that's what you'll see once the pressure is on. But again, that's just my opinion. But at the same time, we all know that my opinion is the one that matters because this is my show. Now, speaking of Juice James, this promo last night, if you guys didn't see the main event, let me give you a little bit of a refresher here. Joshua comes down to the ring. Matt A-Star comes down to the ring as the World Heavyweight Champion. This match was almost one-sided. Joshua was putting the boots to Matt A-Star's ass. Me being the compassionate guy that I am, I came out to give Matt A-Star a hand. And so I basically knocked Joshua out. And as I did that, I saw a disrespectful look on Matt A-Star's face. So I put the boots to his ass as well. After I knocked him out, went under the ring, got a steel chair, laid into Matt A-Star, broke a couple of his ribs. As I'm celebrating in the ring and patting myself on the back, the lights go out. And once the light goes out, on the screen, Juice James appears, and there's a promo that he dropped addressing what I believed him to be addressing is the Still Stable and a few of the remarks that I made in the past about dinosaurs, which in fact that him bringing it up just legitimized what I said, that he is a dinosaur. It legitimizes what I said, that my 8th star is a dinosaur. But I guess at this point it's time for me to become the dinosaur hunter. I believe that myself, along with a lot of the newer blood here, we all agree that it's time for the dinosaurs to be extinct once and for all. And I believe that there is no man up to the task more than myself. And I will be more than happy to make sure that the remainder of these dinosaurs go extinct for good. That being said, again, I ask you guys to tune in. I believe it's going to be Saturday for Creepy's Asylum. I believe that we should have Hunter Dill back on Monday for the Big Deal Podcast. Don't forget that I broke 2 of your ribs. Oh, no, definitely won't forget that. I said that already. Well, Ryan Hills, what I mean by dinosaurs are the guys that have been here from day one, and all they talk about are their past accomplishments. And you should probably tread lightly too, Ryan Hills, because Beard Money are famous for throwing out the fact that they've won the championship however many times that they won the championship. But you see, guys like myself, the new blood as we call ourselves, we're not talking about what we've done in the past. We're only talking about the things that we are currently accomplishing and the things that we will accomplish. And that is the difference between myself and the dinosaurs here. That is the difference between myself and Juice James. That is the difference between myself and Matt 8-Star. But again, I believe Saturday at 2 p.m. Man, that's a little bit early. But Saturday at 2 p.m., you guys can tune in and you will hear the next episode of Creepy's Asylum. That being said, speaking of Creepy, I went to the movies earlier today and I watched Insidious 4, The Last Key. And I'm surprised that nobody brought this up before, but if you guys did not know, Mr. Creepy has a starring role in Insidious 4. So if you guys get a chance, go check this movie out and tell me if you can spot Mr. Creepy in this movie. But I believe that is all that I have for tonight's show. Again, like I said, it will be a short show for tonight. And I don't really even see the needs to open up the lines for tonight. So we'll keep it short. We'll keep it sweet. We'll keep it simple. And this is going to be the end of this episode of the Blacklist. Wait. Before we end this episode of the Blacklist. Blackballed. Yeah, blackball. Let's go to this blackball segment. I am going to blackball this week. I'm going to blackball the board of directors. And the reason why I choose to blackball the board of directors is simple. You announced earlier in the week that there will be a championship match at Over the Top between Joshua and Matt 8-Star. When I am undefeated against both of these superstars, when I'm undefeated against just about almost every champion that you have on the roster, yet I have not been given a championship match. I have not been entered into the tournament for the new championships. I was not entered into the tournament for the King of the Ring. But here comes a guy who disappears. Here comes a guy who steals the most prestigious championship in the game, and you reward him with a championship match. So for that reason and that reason alone, I choose to blackball the board of directors. And this will be the end of this episode of the Blacklist. I will see you guys next Wednesday at 7:05. Stay awesome.